Hello again, everybody. Hey, this is Richie, and I just wanted to spend some time with you and not take too much of your time, though, and really carefully describe and help you understand exactly what Piano Stream is and how it works and if it will work with your piano or not. So, when you first open the app, this is the screen that you're going to see, and this is the analog interface of the app. And so the app actually has two interfaces. It has analog and it has digital, okay? Those are the two interfaces. And before we even talk about that, though, let's quickly hop on the App Store so you can see Piano Stream. It's all one word, Piano Stream, just like this, okay? There is the app. Touch on it right there, okay? And we have a lot of info just right here in the description of the app itself, and some of the new features and just all this stuff. But let me tell you this. Once you download the app, at the top right-hand corner, of course, you can touch that little question mark and you can go to this web page where I have put a bunch of information on here. But to be perfectly honest with you, it's so vast and so, I don't want to say that it's complicated, but it's powerful yet simple as we could possibly make it. We wanted something that would cover pretty much every player piano out there, and that's exactly what this app does. And so let's just talk about this just a little bit. Once again, it has two interfaces, analog and digital. And let's start with digital because digital works with pretty much everything out there. And in order for this interface to work, you need to connect to MIDI ports, MIDI, on your piano. So let's say you have a Piano Disc Prodigy. Piano Disc Prodigy actually has built-in MIDI, and so you can connect to the built-in MIDI. If you have a Piano Disc IQ system, it's mostly an analog system. And so here we go. So sorry, like I said, this is kind of complicated. I wonder if I should start with like every single piano and just tell you exactly how this works with each and every piano. But I don't really know where to start because there are so many different pianos. So let's start with you. Let's say you have a brand new Disclavier Inspire, okay? And so let's just quickly hop on Google and let's just look up a Disclavier Inspire, okay? Disclavier Inspire so that you can see, actually, you know what? I take that back. Let's go to the control unit and let's just go to a picture of the control unit, which I probably already have on this website. Okay, so let's just find the control unit. Well, actually, this is the control unit right here. This is the back of a Disclavier Mark III. And so what I was going to say is that almost every piano out there has these two jacks right here, MIDI in and MIDI out, okay? This just happens to be a Mark III control unit on a Disclavier, which means that it has a floppy drive and a CD drive. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to make sure that little switch right there is slid over to MIDI if you do have a Mark III. And you'll notice once again that you have MIDI in and MIDI out. Okay, on a brand new Disclavier Inspire, you'll also see that you have MIDI in and MIDI out if you get under the piano. And if you go to one of these videos, I've made a whole bunch of them actually, where you can see the MIDI in and MIDI out right on almost every piano out there. I think on this video, I actually get under the piano. In fact, let's just go to it really
Dr. Drew and
fast.
my wife Susan here.
Wait, I gotta
You've probably seen
wait for
this
so I can
guy
skip this
all
somehow.
over your feed claiming
Okay, let's skip ads.
I'm actually
Okay,
working
and
on
let's
a
just
brand new
let's just go
Yamaha.
through this video
So
a
there's
little
the
bit and
analog
just see if we can
interface.
see. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. That's exactly what I was hoping to see right there. Okay, and once again, I have put a whole bunch of videos on YouTube. And let's see, where did it go? I was, there you go, right there. If you get under your Disclavier Inspire, you will see that you have MIDI in and MIDI out, okay? And in order for this digital part of that, I don't know why that keeps popping up. In order for this digital part of the app to appear, in order for you to use this digital part of the app, you have to connect to those MIDI in and MIDI out ports. And the way that you do that is by connecting that device right there, which is called a Yamaha MD BTO1. And so let's just hop on Amazon and let's just type in MDBTO1. Okay. And once again, this will allow almost every piano out there to work. Okay, this has been my experience. This Yamaha one at the very top is the most friendly. It's the most friendly device out there by far. Now, this one right here where it says CME Witty Master, it's wonderful. And the communication might even be better. And it's nice because it's always on Amazon Prime and you can have it in 2 days. But the only problem with this is that it's not as user friendly and it likes to connect and pair itself to one iOS device like your phone or your iPad. But then when you have someone else in your house who wants to use the piano, they go to try to connect to it, and a lot of the time they can't. And the reason why is because this thing has already married someone else. It's paired with your other device, and so it's not as easy to connect to it. Now, if you just have one device, like an iPad or something that's dedicated to the piano, which is actually what I recommend, then this device is really nice because it connects automatically. Once again, I think the communication is even better with it, and it's 2-day Amazon Prime, which is beautiful. But if you think that multiple people are going to connect, then this Yamaha device, the MDBTO1, once again, is more friendly and it does work incredibly well. This device right here for $39, don't even waste your time. It does not work right. This device right here that says Guitarria wireless MIDI, don't get that because you have to charge it and you'll forget to recharge it and the battery will die. Then you go to use your piano again and that thing is not available. So I wouldn't get that one. This one right here for $39, this one is great. It's identical to the Witty Master. And sometimes it's on Amazon and sometimes it's not. And so once again, I'm actually surprised to see it right now today. And today is September 5th, 2023. But most of the time, I shouldn't say most of the time, but this thing does come and go. But it's great and it's identical to the Witty Master and it's $30 less. Okay, $20 less. Okay. This device right here, this device that you see that says Yamaha UDBTO1, you'll want this if you have a Mark IV disc Clavier. And the reason why is because under the Mark IV, there's usually not enough room to plug in one of these MIDI devices because a beam under the piano, like a big wooden beam, gets in the way and there's not enough room. So you can take this thing and you can plug it into the USB drive under the piano and then switch the input, the MIDI input using the PRC 100, you can switch it over to USB instead of MIDI, and then you can use this device. And the other time that you'll want to use this device is if you have a Yamaha Disc Clavier Inspire Upright. The Yamaha Disc Clavier Inspire Upright does have MIDI ports, but they have been deactivated. And the only way the Upright Inspire will work is with this device, this UDBTO1, okay? Which then leads me to the next thing. Once you do get the UDBTO1 or you get the Yamaha MDBTO1, you will want to update the firmware on it and rename it. And the way that you do that, I have a bunch of videos that show you how to do that, but let me just quickly show you this. Hop on the App Store again, and this time type in MDBTO1, and you're going to see this program that Yamaha makes, or whatever, right there, okay? And if you open this app, I don't have an MDBTO1 in front of me right now, but if you were to open this, you would see your MDBTO1 right there. You touch it and you update the firmware and you rename it, okay? And then the same goes with the UDBTO1, which is the USB wireless MIDI device that I just talked about that's compatible with Disc Clavier Inspire Upright and also with the Disc Clavier Mark IV. Okay, so that's how that goes. So now let's say that back to this video, you've got that little device plugged in into the MIDI in or MIDI out, actually into both, on your Disc Clavier Inspire, on your Disc Clavier Mark III. Mark III has the floppy drive and the CD. And so if you have this thing plugged into those, MIDI ports, then you're ready to use digital. Or if you have a really old Disklavier, even the Wagon Grand, it has MIDI in and MIDI out. And if you have a Disklavier that is called a Mark II, which means it just has that long, slender control unit on the front of the piano, and sometimes the LCD display is bad, sometimes the floppy drive is bad, but with PianoStream, it doesn't matter. It doesn't care, which is really nice. You'll also use this same device with that piano, and remember to switch that little MIDI thing that I showed you, that little MIDI switch on the Mark III, and also on the one of the control units that just has a floppy drive, which is called a DKC 500R XG. Okay, that one. So we've pretty much covered all of the Disklaviers. Now, and I know I'm talking too much, and I'm sorry if you're asleep right now, but let's quickly go to this web page that I put together again right here. And let's talk about Piano Disc really fast. So you may be wondering, okay, will this digital part of the app, the digital interface right here, will this work with Piano Disc? Yes, it will work with every piano disc, which is amazing. Every piano disc. And so let's start with Piano Disc Prodigy, okay? With Piano Disc Prodigy, you actually don't need any extra equipment because it has a built-in MIDI receiver. And the way that you use that MIDI receiver is you actually go to settings on your phone, you touch Wi-Fi, and you would actually see Silent Drive, BT, no, what do they call it? They call it BT, Bluetooth Silent Drive Audio. Right here is what you're going to see. BT, Bluetooth Silent Drive. And you connect, and you know what, my friends? I'm sorry. There's so much info here. Let me restate what I just said. Okay, if you use the digital part of PianoStream, okay, you need to be connected to the MIDI receiver that Piano Disc Prodigy has. You touch this little Bluetooth thing right here, and you're going to see Bluetooth Silent Drive, which is Piano Disc. You touch that thing and you connect to it, okay? And then you connect to it, and then you hit done, and then turn on this little button right here, Legacy Volume Scaling at the bottom. It's a long story. I'll explain that in just a minute, but just turn that on. Hit OK, and then hit the notes, bottom right-hand corner, and then these are all of the stations. Notice you got piano only, you got free songs up at the top. Let's say that you've already subscribed, and thank you so much if you do subscribe. That really, really, really helps us. We try to add 3 new songs every Friday, and we've recorded so much stuff that it's almost unbelievable. But let's touch recently added. Let's have those songs load really fast, okay? And once again, let's assume that you have connected to the Bluetooth MIDI receiver part of the Piano Disc Prodigy system that you have, okay? So here are some songs that we've added lately. There's some Neil Diamond. And let's, just for the heck of it, let's touch this gear cog and let's make sure the local sound is on right there. And let's just hit play. So let's assume that you're connected to your Piano Disc Prodigy right now, or to any of the other Disklaviers that we just got through talking about. Now you're actually going to hear your piano play, which is really, really cool, really fun. There's your volume control. Here's your, go through and fast forward and rewind through the different songs, which is really fun. And also, if you want to add a song to your favorites, you're like, ooh, you know what? I love this song. Let's say you want to save this cool Blondie song, Touch the Heart. Then you'll have 10 favorites which show up. You can name those whatever you want. These are your favorites playlists. So let's stick this song in favorite station number 5, and I'm actually going to rename that, and I'm just going to say, it doesn't even matter what, just to be simple, let's just say September favorites. I know that's stupid, but who cares? September favorites. Okay, September favorites. Okay, done. Save. Okay, so now all I do is I touch the heart and then I stick it in whatever folder I want to stick it into, okay? Now I've saved it into that folder. Now let's go to another song. Let's say you want to stick the Kokomo song, which is a great song, into September favorites. Now let's have that play in the background. Now touch this little list right here to bring up all of your stations. Now you can touch September favorites, or you can touch the notes next to it to see the songs that you've stuck in there. Notice I have Celebration, Great Balls of Fire, and then I just barely added Kokomo and Heart of Glass. Now notice the little garbage cans next to those. That's how I can remove those. But let's hit back and let's select September favorites. And now you're going to see the 4 songs that we have in there. We have Heart of Glass, Kokomo, and there were 2 other songs. And, oh, and you know what? Kind of a long story. Those other 2 songs were from the last time that I loaded the app. So since they're not loading right now, I'm actually going to take this right here. I'm going to touch those notes, and I'm actually going to delete those. You know what? And just for the heck of it, I'm actually going to load it one more time to see if that 3rd song will load, because, and it's not loading for some reason. So just to make sure that things are nice and clean, I'm actually going to go to my favorites again, and I'm going to go to September favorites, and I'm going to get rid of that because it just didn't work for some reason. Okay, gone. And there we go. Okay. And so, okay, anyway, there's that song. I think I accidentally deleted the whatchamacallit song too, the Heart of Glass. Oh, and by the way, I could have easily just touched the notes next to the station. In fact, let's do that. Let's touch the notes. Let's touch the notes next to the station. And remember, I had Heart of Glass, and I'm going to touch that song. I'm going to load that song, and I'm just to make sure that it's in my September favorites. I just selected it, and there you go. Now I'm going to go to my playlist again, and I don't mean to be complicating them. Hopefully, you're following what I'm doing here. And I should have. Yeah, I don't know what's going on now. September favorites. You know what? I'm spending too much time on that. You get the idea. Touch the heart, stick it in the station. Bam, that's how that works. Once again, you've got your volume control. If you're worried that your piano's playing too loudly, then you can push and hold this button right here, which you can set a high limit. Then you can slide this thing and set a low limit so that your piano won't stop playing if you turn the volume all the way down. You can push and hold that minus button to set a low limit. So now you have this window which you cannot break. And the way that you do break that window, however, is by pushing and holding the upper limit, and then it says, do you want to reset high volume limit? Yes. And then this way, if you want to reset the low limit, push and hold it. Yes. And now you've reset those volume limits. Now, if you're listening to a song and there's a really cool part of the song that you would like to listen to over and over again, you can fast forward to that cool part, and then you can save that part. Okay, and now let's say you're clear up here, but you want to go back to that part that you like, hit go. And that will take you to that part as many times as you want to go there. Now, let's say you want to slow it down because you're trying to learn that part of the song, touch the gear cog, and you can turn down the tempo if you want to wherever you want. And also, you can transpose the song if you want to. Now, to reset it to its default settings, touch reset, done. Okay, so that's how that works. Once again, this is the digital part of the piano stream. We've actually covered everything on this, except for one thing. Now, I'm sorry, once again, I know I'm talking too much, but try to listen to this part. If you have a piano disc, and listen to this part very carefully. If you have a piano disc Prodigy, I still recommend that you buy the MIDI receiver right there, that thing right there. I still recommend that you buy that and plug it into the MIDI in and MIDI out on the Prodigy box, the Prodigy CPU under the piano. That way, the piano stream will work beautifully because it can concern itself with a bunch of solo beautiful piano that gets piped straight into the CPU of the piano, and it doesn't have to be translated, and you don't have to bog down the system at all because the system has audio input or Bluetooth audio, and it has Bluetooth MIDI. And I know this is a lot. I'm sorry to say all this stuff, but since it has Bluetooth MIDI, it does have its own built-in system, but it's kind of nice to give the system a break and use this instead so that you can use the audio part of your piano disc Prodigy to listen to the analog part of Piano Stream. And let me go back to the app itself, okay? Let's switch over to analog for just a second. And let's say that you have a Piano Disc Prodigy and you would actually like to use the built-in Bluetooth audio receiver that your Prodigy system has. If you go to Settings and you touch Bluetooth right here, you will instantly see PD Silent Drive Audio. You can touch right here and connect to it. Once you're connected to the PD Silent Drive Audio, then this analog part of Piano Stream will work. And now we need to make sure that we send the right signal to your Piano Disc Prodigy. So let's touch these notes right here, and let's touch these 3 dots up at the top. And let's then touch select your piano, and let's say you do have a piano disc, so let's select that, and let's select show all piano disc songs. So now you can see all of these piano disc songs. Let's touch recently added, and you're going to hear this fax sound. Okay, this fax sound is what drives your piano, okay? This is the signal that the piano disc Prodigy understands, and it'll take this signal and it'll strip the MIDI data out of it, and it'll make the piano keys play, okay? If you have a piano disc IQ, that is precisely how the piano disc IQ works. It uses this analog interface. Now, okay, if you want to still use if you still want to use the digital part of PianoStream, which is really nice because it sends a signal straight into the CPU of the piano without sending that fax signal, and then having to wait for the fax signal to be decoded and deciphered and to have the MIDI data stripped from that fax sound. With the digital interface, you pipe it right into the piano. So you'll notice that on a piano disc IQ, there you have a CPU under the piano. And in fact, let's just, for the heck of it, let's go to YouTube really fast, and let's go to my channel, which is right here. Okay, my name is Richie Hayes. Hello, right there. Okay, and if you see all these videos, you're going to see, all kinds of info. One of these videos, for example, this one right here, let's just, I think I show, you know what, let me show you, there's so many of them, I'm sorry. I don't show, you know what, I'm going to hit this button to show all the videos, okay, because I have a video under the piano. In fact, here's a perfect example of what I was about to say. And like I said, I feel guilty because there's so much info here. But I'm going to fast forward this thing, and I'm going to get under the piano, okay? If I get under the piano, and you're going to see right there. Let's pause it. You're going to see MIDI in on your piano disc IQ, right there where it says MIDI in. You're going to see piano disc. You're going to see this on piano disc IQ, on PDS 128, on PDS 128 Plus, and on PDS 228, you're going to see a MIDI in jack all by itself right there next to PDS 128 and two power supplies. See those cables? Okay, so with this MIDI in jack right there, since you only have MIDI in, you have to power the other end of the dongle of that MDBTO1, okay? And to power that other end of that dongle, you've got to get a little adapter, and I'm sorry, I would send you somewhere else to get it, but it doesn't exist anywhere else. I had to design one for this very purpose. That MDBTO1 needs power. And so if you touch right here, you'll see...
Expedia, all your trip,
and sorry,
all
we
in
have to
one
wait for this
place.
stupid ad. Okay, hold on.
Download the app.
I shouldn't say stupid ad, I'm sorry. This silly ad. Okay, all right, so you'll see this little device right here that I designed, which gives you power. So it plugs in the other end of that MDBTO1. You plug one end of it into this, which then gives it power so that you can then plug it into the MIDI in on, once again, Piano Disc IQ, on PDS 128, PDS 128 Plus, PDS 228, and also on Piano Disc CD only. You will see that there's that MIDI jack that I showed you just a second ago on underneath the piano, okay? But you need to power the other side of the dongle, okay? And in order to do that, you've got to get this adapter from me. And I don't know if you're following all of this because, once again, I understand it's a lot of information, but a lot of systems, the PDS 128 Plus and the PDS 228, they require the old control unit to be plugged in. And if it's not plugged in, then the piano will not play. And so there is a way around that, though, and I don't mean to be Mr. Know-it-all here, but like, for example, in this video, you'll see that I don't have this box connected at all. But if this box, if it's not connected, then the piano will not play. But I came up with another little device, and I sell it for really cheap, that makes it so the piano thinks that box is plugged in, which then makes it so that you do not even have to use the original control unit if you don't want to. You can if you still have floppy disks, and I recommend that you keep it. Put it under the piano if you want to. But once again, a lot of the time the floppy drive goes bad on that, and the LCD display goes bad on that, and sometimes the unit itself goes bad on that. And of course, I recommend that you upgrade to Prodigy if you can. Obviously that's the best thing to do if you can. But if you can't, then this is a beautiful option to be able to plug straight into the MIDI in of the piano that I showed you just a second ago, right there, and to not even have to worry about using the old box, okay? So, and another thing too, well, I don't mean to be giving too much detail here, but if you watch this video, you'll see that there are 3 devices on this particular piano. There's a power adapter for the MDBT01. There's a little bypass switch that I make that makes it so that it thinks the box is plugged in even though it's not. And you'll also see that there's a brand new power supply on this piano, which you can, and like I said, I don't mean to be coming up with everything under the sun, but I also design a very beautiful power supply for this piano. I don't work for Piano Disc. I love Piano Disc, but I say that because I'm not trying to step on any toes or anything like that. I simply want to enhance their beautiful product, which I work on every day, and along with Disclavier and stuff like that. And you can probably get a power supply from Piano Disc, but I do provide these things, and I don't know of anyone else who does. So with these older systems, 3 things. Once again, the power adapter for the MIDI dongle, the little bypass switch, which is at the end of this video. Let me see if I can scrub to it. Let's see if I can see it. And you know what? If you would, just watch this video and you'll see the little bypass that I'm talking about. I can't see it when I just scrub through it like this. But the bypass circuit makes it so that it thinks that the control unit is still plugged in, even though it's not, okay? So I just gave you a whole bunch of information about Piano Disc Prodigy, about Piano Disc IQ. And once again, if you go to my little channel on YouTube and look at all the different videos, in fact, let me just go like this, you'll see here the old PD control unit present switch. The reason, I could change that title. I'm just trying to be gentle with the way that I present all of this stuff so as to, once again, I'm not trying to make it so that you just say, oh, I don't need my control unit and just get rid of it like that. I'm not presenting this like that. I'm just saying that, there are times when that thing stops working. And this really comes in handy to be able to simulate the presence of that box. And once again, yeah, it'd be better if you could upgrade to Prodigy, but maybe you can't, and so anyway, so you can watch a video. You can watch that video in detail and you'll completely understand it. You'll see in this video where it says set upper and lower volume limits. I already talked about that a little bit. And and one other thing I forgot to tell you. If you are using that direct MIDI in, make sure you watch this video right here that says PianoStream iOS app control on older Disclaviers and on older Piano Disc systems. When you go to the app, to make that thing work, let's go to digital again. And when you connect to it, after you connect to the Bluetooth device and you hit done, make sure you turn on this legacy volume scaling. That'll make it so that you can plug directly into the MIDI in, just the MIDI in, and have volume control over it. This is something that we just barely came up with. This was not possible before, but now it is. Okay, so, and now I feel like I've taken way too much of your time, but let's switch over to analog just for one more minute, and let's just talk about this for a second. Okay, this analog interface of PianoStream works beautifully, and I mean beautifully, with Piano Disc Prodigy and also with Piano Disc IQ. If you have Piano Disc PDS 128, PDS 128 Plus, PDS 228, and the IQ system, the CD only, then I recommend you just do digital, and I recommend you buy this MDBT01 from Amazon right there, and I recommend you get this power device from me right here, and I also recommend that you get this bypass switch, which unless you leave the control unit plugged in, okay? All right, so let's go back to this again and let's touch the, maybe I hit stop. I don't think I did. But if we're back here on analog again, let's say you want to hear some piano plus audio. Well, touch the notes, and this is only possible with the analog interface. And so let's go all the way down. Notice this, and then you'll get all the way down to piano disc, piano plus audio. Then you can touch, let's say you want to hear the Carpenters, touch the Carpenters, and now you're going to hear, not only are you going to hear the keys, the notes on the piano, but you're also going to hear the Carpenters actually sing, which is really beautiful. And you can touch these things right there, and then you can control the balance between the piano and the audio, okay? Now, let's say you have a piano quarter system. Touch those notes, touch the three dots at the top, select your piano, and then you could select piano quarter right there, and then send a signal to your piano quarter. Or once again, now if you have a Yamaha Disklavier Inspire, or Mark IV, or even Mark III, anything that has analog MIDI in, and let me show you what that looks like really fast. Let me just go home, and let's touch this question mark, and let's go down to this Mark III control unit right here. Some of the Disklaviers, when I say some of the Disklaviers, Disklavier Inspire, and Disklavier Mark IV, and the Mark III, and especially Disklavier Prodigy, they all have audio analog MIDI in. If the piano has audio analog MIDI in, and once again, when I say if, we're talking Inspire, Mark IV, Mark III, DKC 850, and E3, they all have audio analog MIDI in, then you can use the analog part of PianoStream and send an analog signal which has piano and audio data right into those jacks, and your piano will respond, and it's beautiful. In order to make that happen, though, you actually need another little device, and it looks just like a hockey puck, and that's it right there. It's $100. But that thing works incredibly well. You want to travel like a local, and you can hop on Amazon. Just go to Amazon right here, and it's called a WIIM. Even though I have links to all of this stuff, WIIM audio. Okay, and this will bring up the little hockey puck right there. Okay, $90. It goes between 90 and 100. So this thing is beautiful because it also has a built-in preamplifier. Notice up at the top, you can hit that plus button after you connect it under the piano. But you'll notice that if you go to my channel again, I have all kinds of videos covering everything, including that little hockey puck, okay? And I know I've taken way too much of your time. Thank you so much for listening to all of this. I hope that this has cleared up maybe a few things that you had in your mind, because it's pretty intense. One thing to remember too is you do need to hit this AirPlay icon, and you can connect to that Wii Mini that I just talked about. And you know, another thing too is I am here for everybody as much as I possibly can be. And we do have a Facebook page that's called PianoStream. And in fact, let's just go to it. Let's go to Facebook and let's just type in, oh, and I was just going to say, that's me, right? In fact, let's just go to that's me right there in that little circle. Those are my girls right there. But let's touch the little search button and let's go to PianoStream group, okay? This is our PianoStream group, and there are 1,700 of us, and we would love to have you here with us. And what's nice about this too, though, is that a lot of the videos that I make, I put right up here at the top so that you can see, I mean, all this stuff. I just put a whole bunch of videos right there. And of course, you can ask anything you want here, and there are a lot of people that know about all of this stuff, and we can all help you, and I can help you, and blah, blah, blah. And so we would love to have you be part of this, and I probably should have mentioned this at the very beginning of the video. So, but this is the group, and then I will just tell you one other thing. Let's just go down a little bit. I just want to introduce you to our main pianist. In fact, see the guy on the left? His name is Mal Coley. He is one of the best pianists in the world. And I'm the guy on the right. And so we teamed up, and we've been working on this for about 5 years. We have another guy named Bob Hermans who has also contributed massively to all of this. And so as far as Mal Coley is concerned, you could easily hop on YouTube and you can just search for Mal Coley, and you'll see, you can see his channel. And here is his channel right here. And as you can see, he's got almost 45,000 subscribers. He is phenomenal. And you'll get an incredible amount of good, I mean, enjoyment and just, I mean, he's really, really fun to listen to. He's very, very good. And once again, he is our main piano stream pianist, but we also have a guy named Jeff White, who's really good, and Dave Despain, who is also incredibly good. And all of our guys are really good, and Bob Hermans, and we just have a ton of stuff. And so, anyway, okay, I will be quiet. I feel guilty that this was so long. I wish that all of us could meet in person and that we could just have this, a piano stream party, and so that I could answer every single question that you could possibly have. But once again, welcome, and I hope that you can be with us, and we'll talk to you later, and enjoy your day, and thanks again for spending some time with me. Okay, we'll see ya.